Obviously, it's a best of 2 every single time. You win both, you get 3 points. You split, you get 1. You lose both, you get 0. And NRG will not want 0. And NRG are that team that generally will bounce back in game 2s.
Nah, Dignitas has 0s.
Good one.
P's and B's, pretty please.
That was the best joke you've ever made.
That was so good.
Still hated it. Rival will be first pick this time round. Now, I believe Rival was first pick, sorry, second pick last game. They chose to be second pick,
right?
Interestingly enough, which means NRG got the option here. They want second pick. Maybe it's a second pick meta now, Tom. Everybody wants 2 dominant picks.
I think it definitely is a second pick meta because when it comes down to the first pick selections, I mean, you're looking at guys like Kernanos, which a lot of the pro teams can play around at this point. We've seen that happen. Bologna was first pick to take it away from Deathwalker. Now it's going to be banned out by NRG Esports. I don't think there's a single god that runs the game at the moment. I think that there is a group of gods that do very well. And so grab 2 instead of 1. Yeah.
Solo ones are the really obvious ones to talk about, though. Bologna, Osiris specifically, but then you've also got Ravana, which is technically a jungler now for the time being. They're starting to see more play, and more focus towards the Morrigan as time's gone on as well. Fafnir potentially getting through here.
Yeah, the Morrigan's a team-specific. For sure. You got to be able to play it and all of the other characters. So, you know, when you have gods like Yammyn and gods like Pretty Prime, and they use the term god specifically for those players, you have to be more careful. When it comes to the newer age and the players that have just been in their position for a little bit, they don't have the prowess or the god pool outside of their area of comfort that those other players do, so you won't see the Morrigan banned. Fafnir, however, can single-handedly control a game, so he's kind of got to be banned these days.
Well, it's also Callus falls in love with this guy. He loves it so much that they've got to take it away from Callus. He's probably his best god, although his Yington last game was pretty solid overall. 8 the shots, but did what he needed to do in the front line.
Give him something aggressive.
I'm not sure where to go with that. I was thinking it could be Osiris here, but Ravana was still available too. I don't think iceicebaby made a big impact in that game on the Ravana. He just did what he needed to at the right time. But now it's going to be NRG getting this all instead.
Yeah, Team Rival, they understand that, listen, their solo leader, Deathwalker, is the guy with the confidence, the guy with the swag that's going to walk in and just take over, and Osiris is a character that allows you to do that. So, going to see that one come out. Soul and Camazotz, adapting, will play the bat one more time, and the Soul will, well, is it emilitoo? Is it Yammyn? It's a toss-up.
Well, excuse me, we'll find out. I just choked on my own air. I don't know why, but the problem I see with NRG's come straight away is the lack of CC they actually have available to them. That's why they drafted Neef last game, was lack of CC. They may have to go back to it again if they're going to run a comp like this.
It's possible. It's possible. The Soul in the mid lane is likely where we're going to see her. I think that's where Soul's identity is, and I don't think we're going to see her much in the long lane. But emilitoo, I think it's an asterisk because he's emilitoo, and it's just one of his comfort picks. Soul and Camazotz paired with the Khepri, and Ram and will join the likes of Ravana and Osiris.
Surprised by the fact that they did go for Camazotz straight away, unless they know Rival would be happy to run the Camazotz in the jungle themselves. They could have left Camazotz available and taken Ravana as well, potentially, but obviously Ravana being a jungler now, more than likely they want to adapt it on the Camazotz. And the Camazotz pairing with Khepri is great, because it just allows Soul, it allows Camazotz to go very, very deep if they want to, and iRaffer to just to bring them all back to safety if need required.
And I love the Isis ban because of what you just mentioned.
Silence.
NRG's composition is really based on going very deep. Isis is very good at saying you can't sit here, and Wlfy's Isis is fantastic on top of the fact that Isis would deter NRG from going into that dive composition that they have drafted so far. So an intelligent ban both because of the strategy and the players across the way.
It's a dive composition from NRG, but Rival here have got 3 very strong frontliners who can CC very well as well. It's going to be a balance for Rival to make sure they peel correctly for their backline here. They need to recognize NRG going very deep, looking for the kills over and over, and Rival have to pick them apart with the Sobek, with the Osiris, slow them down, not allow them to commit fully.
While the mid lane and the jungler get to play all the new gods, Soul and Camazotz, some new spicy stuff, Dimi just gets the old classics. Bologna, Sun Wukong.
I mean, Sun Wukong technically got a couple of buffs recently, so a bit more power. So he's been around the scene for quite a while, but, you know, Sun Wukong's always good to see.
We'll take a look if it's going to work out in game number 2
or not. When he used to have a knock-up? Remember when Sun Wukong used to have a knock-up in his 2? I miss those days.
Oh, my goodness. You and Wlfy missed those days, and that's about it. Yeah, American Wlfy.
Support players that missed those days. Tricksank missed those days too.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. With that said, Dimi's still going to bring a large amount of control to the team fights by way of his animals knockup. That Ox can really mess things up. And, you know, even the Master's Will slow is pretty tough.
Look at the gap that Energy have created mid lane here. And not by gap, I mean the collapse, really. You've got Rafa and emilitoo close into the mid lane, Dimi as well. The problem is that Rival are actually collapsing around too. And then it finds Energy in a bit of an awkward spot, so Dimi's going to eat some free poke there, as Ice and Wlfy will get out-pressured at the start for a second. With the minion wave coming, Energy got back away.
Yeah, the deterrence of Deathwalker, or Dimi, by Deathwalker. Nice, smart play coming out by the solo laner there. Adapting and Yammyn will clear the wave very easily and head into the jungle and look for the gremlins.
But a good start from Energy allows them to just get the mid lane pressure first of all with the Stellar Burst and adapting in tow. The elementals go their way, and then the decision is, do we go back to mid or our own jungle? Well, here's the split. Yammyn gets some free farm in mid, adapting will do the speed buff, while Rival just soak their own speed. Deathwalker will join Ice any second.
Well, Wlfy and Ice are able to hit level 2, and that's the important part. So, no big deal there. Earlier, we were talking about the confidence levels of Team Rival.
I think they'll be more confident in this game now after how that last one went.
Sure.
It was a deficit for them early on, 4,000-5,000, that they came back from, took the lead, and then established the lead and ran with it and ended the game. That will give them even more of a boon now. Like, okay, all we're going to do is just same again, boys. Same again.
What I like the most, ooh, Kalas with a nice ricochet taken by emilitoo. What I really like about this unit, emilitoo is outplayed here.
That book was wide open and he read every page of it for sure. Kalas now going to die for that potentially. Couple more hits. The archers were involved as well. The root good from Rafa. There's his shell. Bo's trying to block the shots, but he's going to be careful about dying too. Ricochet!
It's good! emilitoo from a distance drops the taunt. Let them know how you feel. Energy on the board before 2 minutes, thanks to a hot play from a hot hunter.
Do you know what? Sometimes you look at me, you're like, I think he's going to hit this one. And I had a feeling the way that engagement went. Energy off to a great start in the duo lane.
I just, you feel it, man. And, you know, I think that's Energy versus Rival. Rival are, not to say, and by no means I'm not saying that Energy isn't a unit. They play as a team. But Energy has historically found success thanks to their individual dominance.
Definitely.
And Rival have sort of come together like Voltron, think old Titan days. And, you know, when it comes down to it, that individual play coming out from emilitoo, that's what Energy does.
Sure.
They're just going to get you.
Basically with Energy, like, individual skill is even across the board. I think they've all got the mechanical skills required. As back to the dual lane again, that root hits too. Kalas could be in trouble again here, but that's slow from Vote just coming into play. That cripple actually stops the abduct, I should say, which could have been a doomsday again for Kalas on that Sobek.
Wlfy, oh, what a nice stun.
That was a really nice play just to deny Yammyn any sort of aggression there. Notice how he immediately disapparated as well. Yammyn like, oh no, I'm in trouble. But gets away scot-free. Interesting play so far. These are like two of the top teams in Europe now, which is crazy to say when you think Rival, who last split before Worlds.
I love it. I love it, man. And especially Deathwalker. I mean, my personal opinion of this guy was that at one point he was towards the bottom end of individual skill in the league. I just didn't think he had what it took to dance. And to be fair, that wasn't an unpopular opinion. And he came through, and I asked him at Masters. I said, look, what happened? Because whether you were as critical as I was or not, you are a different player than you used to be. And he just put on his sunglasses and said, I don't know. That's literally what he did. And, you know, sometimes it just clicks.
And some of it does come down to meta as well, in my opinion. Like, when the meta changes and everything fits your way and the jigsaw piece comes together nicely, you can just work things out. You're like, oh, look at this. I am great in this meta because it's all tanks or Sunder, and I love Sunder. It's stuff like that. There's always going to be times where people are going to shine in the Pro League.
Well, one of the things is that he has a very eclectic god pool, and he added the standard gods to that. And I'm a fan of breaking the meta, but you got to learn the rules before you break them kind of type deal. And Deathwalker was breaking them before he learned them. He was going out there with his Opwash and his Jean Queasies, and it wasn't working. Now all of a sudden, he's the big bad Bologna and the Osiris man. Yeah, now you can play your Opwash alongside because you can do the standard stuff.
Now, game one, Energy did draft an early mid-game composition. The late was kind of going to be lacking as the game went on there. This time round, though, I would say this is a battle of amazing damage in the late game from Energy with the Camazotz, the Soul, and the Ho-Yi. Up against Rival, whose front line is where they're going to be strongest. Obviously, Thoth and Rama in the back line are no slouches. but it's shredding through the front line that's going to be important for NRG this game. They have to use their damage correctly in the team fights and take out some of the targets that are going to cause them the biggest issues in terms of surviving themselves.
Yeah, they're going to have to sort of be aware of that, but at the same time, Team Rival can't be afraid of that either. They have to fight directly into it, just like they did last game. NRG Esports have just an aura around them that Team Rival just don't care about anymore.
Well, itemization as well. I love what Wlfy did. He started tier 2 looking for the Book of Thoth early on, just went back to base and finished that after Boots 1 as well. So that's going to allow him now to start double stacking because of his passive stacks up the penetration. And then on top of that, the extra damage he's going to get from Thoth. It's not a whole lot extra, but it is going to allow him to swing a lot harder in the early game thanks to having that completed already.
And that also, the passive actually kind of makes it so that you can delay your penetration boost a little bit because you already have some nat pen coming out.
The one thing about NRG's team comp, though, is lack of CC overall. They do have slows, granted, plenty of slows on this team, but not hard CC. Hard CC, you're looking at a Supernova with the knock-up. You're looking at the Hoyi Ricochet after the Mark of the Crow, or you're looking at the Abduct and Roots coming out.
I mean, Dimi brings a fair amount of CC, whether it's not
single target. For me, it's more single target, like slows, granted, they're AoE, but actual single target hard CC is very lacking on this squad of NRG, which could make it tricky up against Rival if they can reposition well. And I think you'll see probably more Aegises coming out this game. You already see that Wlfy started it, but there's more chance of an Aegis to be useful over a Beads.
Look at Wlfy through the wall and adapting for big damage. Well, it was big damage. The Camazotz does have that sustain, so...
He's got bombers too, so one step in the jungle and once he dies, he's back to full health already. Or he can just bump steal off the wave anyway.
Yeah, so easy for the Camazotz here. You want to talk about confidence? Vote NBK. That is a confident guy. But right now, emilitoo, making him question that confidence. Obviously, first blood go in the direction of emilitoo, and Vote kind of has to play it safe here in this lane.
And that's kind of where the level lead came from emilitoo, was picking up that kill onto Callus earlier on, forcing Vote to play very safe under the tower and deny him a little bit more experience. And now emilitoo's got a bit more free roam in this lane. Obviously, he is the superior boxer in this matchup in a straight up 1v1. So try and use this time when he does get wave pressure, look to try and pick up a jungle buff like the red or purple if it's available, and make sure the jungle's nicely warded, as you can see.
Exactly, and you know, that's what this is about. It's about having vision on the enemy jungle the whole time. Because of these wards, emilitoo's going to be able to contest here, toss the ultimate, toss the sun down, jump to safety, and a great leash coming out for the guys on Rival saves the red buff.
I love the dance play the red buff gave us then as it was trying to reset itself, just getting hit over and over again by the suns.
Ow, ow, ow.
A little bit too early there. I think he was expecting to have only one person to fight, ended up fighting two, so he's like, okay, I'll drop Sun to walk away, maybe I'll strip it, but I'm not going to get myself too far out of position.
He was going to jump on Vote.
He was thinking about it.
He was going to jump on Vote.
I think it would have been a terrible idea, and I'm glad he chose not to.
He was going to jump on Vote, but Callus showed up. If Callus wasn't there, he was going to jump on Vote.
Sure, he would have taken that trade every time if he could.
And you know what? The way emilitoo's been playing, instead of the red buff, it would have been Vote going, ow, 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 ow.
Looking at the right-hand side now and how the game has started out here, because you can see Deathwalker.
So
I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? Ow. But Deathwalker's doing what he can to just try and keep wailing away. And Dimi's done a good job of staying even in this lane. Obviously, Wukong's not the worst laner in the world, but he's up against Deathwalker, someone who's got fantastic wave play with cleave and sustain from the Death Stall. So Dimi just having to sit on the tower, battle back, and then keep even. Doing a good job of controlling the actual elementals in the jungle as well.
Vote getting hit hard by the bat.
Dead.
He's got to go to the sky.
Or maybe
He'll be alive because Callus shows up.
That was lucky.
Going back to what you're saying about Dimi, I could have taken that line from season 2.
Yeah.
Dimi has just always been asked, just go in that lane and tread water.
Do things.
Just don't lose.
Well, this gold fury, very important for NRG here as the plug goes off from Callus, who's one hit from death, adapting it all the work he needed to. Now Dimi gets free reign to fight against iceicebaby, as on the backside, Yammyn's left 1v1 with a gold, but Wlfy now out of position. Oh, the burst was good there.
Yeah, early Aegis, but he needed to right then and there. Dimi gonna go for the chase, finds a slow on the iceicebaby. Team Rival have already successfully deterred the gold fury push. That's a win.
I just want to point out there was no Sunder involved in that damage onto Wlfy there. That was just straight raw damage from a Camazotz and a Jingu Bang.
Ow.
Yeah, imagine if the Sunder was applied to that.
Ow, ow.
If you Sunder and then hit them with that combo, Wlfy's probably dead.
Yeah, he's toasted, of course. But that wasn't the case. Only one Sunder on the side of NRG this game. One Sunder. They're basically just the junglers have the Sunder. And it's the same idea that we were talking about before, where there just isn't CC enough on either side to really require those beats.
Surprised we saw NRG reset the Gold Fury. I guess they were a little bit worried about positioning, but now it's Team Rival has started up. And Yammyn does manage to hit Yammyn pretty dangerous to their Wlfy, sorry.
Nice,
and Vote will roll in, pick up the kill. But meanwhile, Dimi's picked up Callus. Some of the front line are already dead.
And Deathwalker just fighting out here like Megazord, 1v4, don't care.
He's dead though. Pretty sure he's going to die. Vote will clean up one from the sky. Adapting gets credit for Deathwalker. Rafa low on health here, though. Up against 3 targets that surrounded him. Adapting wants to swing back in as Wlfy's about to fall to Dimi.
Yeah, Dimi gets trouble on the back end, able to take down the player 2-0-2 for the short lane and NRG player.
Vote's in trouble, though, surrounded by 3. And that's going to make it, what was that overall, a 4-for-3 exchange, I guess?
Yeah.
All the respawns coming through already. Crazy little engagement around the Gold Fury yet again, which it was Rival's turn to set up. So far, Tom, whoever's pulled the Gold Fury has lost the team fight.
Yeah, he just
But not lost it bad enough that they've lost the Gold Fury as well. Although, they may lose the speed on the right-hand side if Adapting has anything to say about it.
This is so interesting to me. NRG and Rival, so many of these games, not just European games, but so many of these games in general have been calculated, and because they don't want to fight. Rival and NRG are taking every team fight.
It's all about the fights this time round for me. It just seems to be like that. The way the fight goes is just the dictation of it, and they're actually really evenly matched. I'm surprised how even this has been because the target selection has been good from both teams. And even if the target selection hasn't been good, they're all following the same orders, which is making it balance out anyway.
Don't leash this. Don't leash this. Just go for it. Just go for it. Wlfy's going to shoot it, and it's going to be good. Team Rival secure it, but Callus falls down, Adapting with the kill.
This is important for Deathwalker to body block as best he can for Wlfy and buy as much time too. Wlfy has to get away. Dimi wants to go in because Adapting's coming around the corner too.
Yeah.
Wlfy falls down there. That's a 2-0. The Hunters, meanwhile, are still boxing on the right. Let's look at Deathwalker now overextended and not overextended. On his own, surrounded by 4 members who have dived in deep.
There's a reason that NRG are going this hard for the kill. It's not just because they're angry. It's because, look, if you give up Callus for the Portal Demon, that's basically neutral. You just barely won. You get 1 cookie, right? NRG understand that they need to put it in their favor, and the way they do that is win the team fight. Yammyn just disappeared.
Save! Rafa made sure he had the ultimate available, timed it right. The pluck, just as he got plucked is when the ultimate hit, and the tower shot confirmed the safety of his mid laner. A nice little drive-by from Rafa to help his mid laner out.
The best hard DPS stop wouldn't have saved that situation right there because the tower shot.
Yep, tower shot coming to play. This Gold Fury attempt from Rival, though, they knows a couple of mid. And emilitoo just cheekily waiting around. Did he get spotted by Vote is the question. He's got eyes on Callus now. Gold Fury early on with the sunset, but it will force the reset and a great leap away before Vote can hit the cripple.
Exactly what he needs to do. And he'll laugh his way away. I will always love emilitoo's just his general way of carrying himself.
For me, it's mind games, but how this game's going right now is Adapting's back, but Dimi has been silently killing everyone. We've not mentioned it, but he's been involved in 7 kills out of the 8 so far on a some Wukong.
Second on the player damage as well.
I mean, to be fair, I never really look at solo laner's player damage and go, oh, what a great player, because you're going to get to be able to poke.
But you got to compare to the... he's 2,000 above Deathwalker.
The problem I see is Callus is still not completed a full item yet, other than his boots. 0-4-0 as now Ice gets picked, forced to overhead kick away. But the Sobek being so far behind, that's a frontliner that they need to be able to peel for them, to be able to survive. And Adapting just keeps focusing him, knowing he's still squishy.
Wlfy waiting with that ultimate. Gold Fury is going to be leashed. Backline, emilitoo takes out iceicebaby. Off with a big assist from Adapting. Adapting gets controlled, but Callus gets controlled in turn. They're not going to be able to take out the Crocodile. Vote, where's he looking at? He's looking down the distance instead of up close. And Callus in trouble, but the turnaround kill. Adapting does wind up good, and Vote finally puts him down.
That's fine, though, because they get the Gold Fury. And you saw, I love what Vote chose to do there. It may have looked a bit strange, but poke the Gold Fury, make them panic about, hang on a second, can we secure this against the ultimate? No, reset, play it safe. Meanwhile, Adapting's still chasing around looking for the kills, which means that Adapting becomes a baiting character there to allow the rest of his team to secure the gold.
Yeah, well done by Adapting. And yeah, like you said, Vote, it's interesting, because if Vote just goes for Adapting, Callus doesn't fall down there, but the Gold Fury is 100% NRG's. NRG wound up confirming it, but with Vote's kind of shot there, like you said. Maybe they were going to think that think about leashing it, but NRG 2 veteran, they actually take the objective, and that puts them up about 4,000 gold here, just 15 minutes in, 10-3. NRG a little mad about game number 1, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's classic NRG. I think the big person on rival to talk about though is probably going to be Vote here. He's the one in the most comfortable position so far, now level 14 for his squad, and he's got 3 kills to his name so far too. A lot of pressure is going to be on his shoulders as this game goes on, because as one of the damage dealers, when the other lanes are behind and they're mainly tanks, you've got to have a better game and put your carry boots on.
Vote brought down to about 60% thanks to a Ricochet ultimate combo out of Emil. Not going to be too concerned about it.
Well, emilitoo's not been back to base. You can see he just went back and brought full Assy. He wants the lifesteal. It's not a common item that we see too often, but it gives you penetration, it gives you some sustain, as well as the chance to box if you do start taking a box in exchange, and the opposition hunter does not have any sustain. But Assy will come into play and help you out.
Yeah, a little bit, especially when he gets low and the passive comes into play, but you know, we'll keep an eye on that. At the end of the day, I think the Assy is going to be less of an impact for the lifesteal and more just a bridge item that gives him the necessary stats that he kind of wants to hold on to at the moment.
Well, the secondary hunter for NRG is about to come online as well. Yammyn playing that soul. And in a second, Wlfy forced to beat early on. He wanted to. Also cost him his ages as well.
Yeah, that positioning was way curious, and Dimi answers the question. It was just wrong. Number 11 for NRG Esports. Number 5 for the solo laner. Dimi is having a fantastic day on this Wukong.
That was just good way from NRG to collapse around rival, and Wlfy had one option where to go. He chose it, and immediately NRG were like, what are you doing here? You should not be here. Talk about that. The abduct's just a little bit too late to catch Callus there or to dash away, but NRG are trying to draw in rival a little bit more as they look for the portal demon after the last Gold Fury.
Yeah, if Team Rival come ahead and respond to this portal demon, NRG likely just to collapse on him.
Deathwalker around the battle, Lord of the Afterlife onto emilitoo. emilitoo going to stand and trade with the Suns too. Has his leap available still, but trying to hold on to his emilitoo. Once the snipes rain down from Bo, he gets away just about.
But the trouble for Deathwalker, he will not get away. Yammyn on top of that one, but really the entire team took him down. Ice might be next, but quickly finds his way out of the situation.
But look at the health bars of the frontline tanks of rival every single time. Deathwalker dead, Ice half-elf, same for Callus.
Yeah.
But NRG respecting the fact that Wlfy is back, and when you've got the final judgment, you have to respect that is a one-shot capability, not just the character on your team, but the portal demon as well.
It's Wlfy. Honestly, the combination of Wlfy, Callus, and Vote is just more. Yeah, I mean, see,
lazy back. Lazy back.
More control over objectives than NRG can even pull.
And that's just the mistakes that rival are making now. Lazy back in, slightly out of position on the rotations. Do that against NRG. Yeah, you won game 1. Get confidence. We were talking about that. Game 2, you've got to be very careful with it. Wlfy's looking for a steal. Won't find it.
Too late. Can't find it. Oh well. I like the shot. Wlfy goes for it. But talking about that confidence, I really like the way the Team Rival are built as a unit, because I think that I don't think that attitude will ever really be too much of an issue for them. And of course, who knows what happens in the future. But as far as being confident and overconfident, they are very well balanced. Deathwalker and Vote are confident dudes.
Giving Deathwalker the speed, I like that idea, because now he can run down adapting like a dog, but he's really a bat. Adapting, forced to fight this one, has no ultimate to escape. The bad news for Deathwalker is that Dimi is swinging as well.
Yeah, he'll be able to get out of there. Wlfy firing shots out of the backside of Dimi, forcing him into the cloud. Callus is going to be forced out as well. Wlfy, Vote have all the confidence in the world for the whole team, or excuse me, Vote and Deathwalker have all the confidence in the world. Wlfy and Callus, a little bit more critical. They're the ones that are going to say, yeah, we won by 10,000 gold, but we could have done this better.
It's their attitudes of the team that works so well as a unit.
Exactly.
That's the big thing.
You need both.
Same thing with NRG. When NRG first came on the scene, that's what really stood out. You had the different attitudes that came together well. The guys who would be excited, the guys who would be slightly trolley or egocentric.
Yep.
Then the ones that would understand the meta of the game, the deep stuff where you've got to improve even if you are winning. Rival have the same outlook to have here. NRG are looking to split with how this is looking so far. With 6k gold lead, it's not monumental, but I've not seen Rival really get away back in yet. Even though that little engage around the portal demon was good from Deathwalker, there was no real follow-up.
Almost 20 minutes into this contest here. It's 3-13. NRG, the team with Baker's Dozen,
Right-hand side, Dimi's caught out too, but Dimi's going to get away just about. As Adapting swung in with the whole of energy. I like the idea for Rival to fall back, respecting the fact that Rafa was just lurking in the wings. 009 so far today with all those resurrections that he's done so far and not been dropped down.
He's done a very strong job here on the Khepri. Dimi adapting Yammyn, iRaffer, and emilitoo. They've been teaming for a long time, almost 3 years now. And that's something that Rival has in common as well. Not as long, but they've been teaming together for over a year, about a year and a half, and they too have stuck to the idea, minimal to no roster changes. Deathwalker needed time to just bake up, get better, and Rival, instead of replacing him, just let him do it. Now they're one of the better teams.
Rival are kind of like a young energy in their early days as well. You know, going through the challenger scene, making it way up here, sticking together as a unit, playing in the SPL in their first split. Didn't do so well in their first split, neither team did.
Exactly.
If you remember back in the day, Energy, when they first started as Pantera, was a mid-season finish for them. Obviously, Rafa did get that amazing ban that everyone always remembers. That people look back and go, what if, what if? But then Energy got on the scene and made the impact they're making like now.
Right side looking for the team fight is Energy. Rafa grabs Ice, but no follow-up. But gets two people in the route. Deathwalker now versus the world, and he's going to walk away. Trouble for Ice. He'll walk away from Yammyn.
Look at where the damage is for Rival. It's nowhere near getting involved. Finally, Wlfy turns up, but he still can't get in position. And emilitoo wants to have him some in the jungle. Luckily enough, iceicebaby's there to help out Wlfy.
Wlfy's still trying to find a nice spot to really set up and just sit as a turret, but Adapting's the one that takes out iceicebaby. Wlfy trying to find the shots, trying to be that turret himself. Has to find the Aegis next to Dimi's dive. Deathwalker up front takes it, and Dimi takes out Deathwalker.
But look what's dead. It's all the damage dealers. Why are all the damage dealers dead? Because they were a 3-man unit with no damage with them. And Energy's like, well, I guess we can fight. And now it's only damage dealers left. Vote will get one, but traded out as emilitoo works for Wlfy. They're going to get a tier 2 for free here. Right.
Vote turned around and had no idea that there was somebody behind it. That's a lack of teamfight communication. Can't happen.
I'm surprised Energy didn't either go for the tier 2 or just go for potentially the fire giant there instead of waiting around. Chasing the kills, I get it, you know, kill vote, the respawn's going to be longer again, but I think they could have just gone for the fire giant there. Wlfy didn't have too much, and if he comes in, he would have died.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them go for the objective. I think they were just amped up, man. I think it was just a whole idea of oh, we got to get him. Sometimes you just got to get him.
What? You get those hungry eyes for kills, that's all it is.
Hungry eyes?
Hungry eyes. We're going to call them hungry eyes. I could call them so many different things, but they're all polite for broadcast. We're going to call them hungry eyes. Okay? That's the reason it was called hungry eyes, because I was having other words go through my head that are not for broadcast.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about them off air, okay?
I'm sure we will. Right now, emilitoo wants to talk about it on air, and he's able to just go ahead and snatch up some jungle camps for his team. The Fire Giant was in the conversation before.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I don't think Rival have really been in the conversation this game. If you look at how this game's gone, Ice hasn't made an impact again on the Ravana for me. I'm not really comfortable with Ice on Ravana. Not because I don't think Ice can play it. He just doesn't look great on it today so far.
I'm with you. Ice, Ravana is not a hard I mean, you say that.
His Nemesis, his Wlfy, he can play mechanical gods if required. I'm not saying Nemesis is a mechanical god, by the way. Saying more Wlfy. But Nemesis, you know, same sort of character, brings the same sort of thing in a weird way of looking at it. He's just not making the impact on the Ravana today.
So, you know, I say Ravana isn't a hard carry character, but you buy a Sunder and he's going to kill you first, second, and third, right? But he kind of falls off during the mid game. I guess not.
I mean, his ult is what it's there for. You ult engage, you look for the engagements early on. I'm seeing Deathwalker engage more than I am seeing iceicebaby engage, which is surprising to me. But he's got a 3-level difference against Adapting now in the jungle, where the back of the game is breaking. I wouldn't say it's broken just yet. If the Fire Giant goes under his way, that's when I can start talking about broken bones.
The point I was trying to get at was irrelevant of what Ravana does. It's all about just, you give him a hard carry assassin and he can do it. And I'm just not seeing that on the Ravana, unfortunately.
No, not this game. Not since today, anyway. Even though game 1 went their way, I still don't think Ice made that much of a big enough impact for me. There we go with Deathwalker again with the ultimate early on, looking to collapse, forcing the fight. Dimi eats a lot of poke there, but he's still got his Storm Cloud.
And Adapting's got Deathwalker, gonna punish him for that one. Hungry eyes, but it's Energy that are doing the dirty dancing here. Taking down the tier 2 tower, nice and easy. 5-4 the players, and Energy making it happen with the power play. Raffer's gonna have to ult himself.
He should be still, he does. He gets flipped back in again. But round the corner comes the cavalry. Energy picks up one. Vote in the sky trying to buy time, but as soon as he lands, the bat is waiting in the wings for him. Yammyn gets another. And next on the list will be iceicebaby as Dimi brings him down.
And Yammyn, big damage. He's only got 8,000, but if you told me 8,000 came in that team fight, I'd believe you. With the right side, Phoenix going in. Oh yeah, no way.
No. They had very few minions against Wlfy as well, who was going to be full health. You don't want to mess with a Thoth with those health bars. No. Not a chance. Reset, take speed buff, take blue buff, then head back to base and get the fire giant.
Smart play coming out from the vets here, the defending world champs. They've got 21 kills to Team Rival 6. And Rival has been very quiet. Very quiet.
All game.
You know what it is for me? You mentioned the initiation before. Collis last game, blink, ult, blink, ult, blink, ult. Collis this game,
0-7.
Pretend I'm a cricket.
0-7.
Just cricket noise.
When you was 0-7 or 0-5, which he has been for a while, you can't do much. You've got to try and wait for the opportunity. You keep trying to dive in, you're going to get blown up. So I understand that Rival have had to switch things up from their style. Deathwalker is now the initiator because he's the furthest ahead in his team, but even he is like paper to the back line of energy at this point.
Yeah, he's just not able to really do what Team Rival need him to do. And Ravana is a character that we've been very critical of this character before. Not just us, but other analysts around have said, listen, if he doesn't get off to that hot start, he doesn't really do anything. So, I mean, is it iceicebaby or is it the character? I guess it's 6 and 1. I guess it's a little column A, column B, right?
Yeah, for sure. But you've got to make the use of the Ravana in the early game a little bit more, from my point of view, to make sure it gets towards this mid lane.
Exactly, yeah.
But this fire giant, very, very important.
Deathwalker coming in here trying to snatch it away from energy.
Too early.
Not gonna happen. Iceice shows up. Vote fire the shots. Iceice is here along with Collis.
He stole it.
They get it. They snatch it and they take it away. Yammyn takes the life of Iceice. Wlfy gets taken by adapting as well. Despite the fire giant, it's energy that are walking around like taking giant steps.
If I'm energy, hey boys, you want the fire giant, you take it. You invest everything into that fire giant, because we'll take the fight afterwards. We'll take 3 lives off you. We'll take your tier 2 tower in the mid lane. We'll move on to the Phoenix in mid lane and probably close out the game.
Yeah, they should absolutely clear for the Titan. You've got about 15 seconds on Iceice. Wlfy's dead for another 20. That Phoenix is melting. And energy gonna play it safe.
They are. I think, you know what? I think if emilitoo chose to leap, their Vote was in range for that leap, and they kill Vote, they would have gone for the win. But with Vote and Deathwalker being alive, it's better to play it safe. It's better to fall back, take the last towers on the left, and make sure they look for that Phoenix and just use the pressure of the map to their advantage.
So here's the thing for me: if energy get wiped there, they don't lose.
No.
So I would have liked to see them go for it, but energy, defending world champs, can't get 2-0'd by the team that beat them at Masters in their first game of the summer split.
Agreed.
So that's why they're playing it safe.
I think a lot of people will be looking at this set and after game 1 going, oh, energy are dead. Their career's over. But now game 2, it's like, okay, so Rival are stepping themselves up into the big boy shoes, or energy are now bouncing back and finding the sort of form we've seen out of them before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if energy do look the same old energy we saw 2 previous years. I think some of that is down to the meta changes that happened in Season 4 compared to that of Season 2, Season 3, which were very similar, as well as the rest of Europe catching up onto the world champions and having to face them so much. They've learned to take away some of their style and put it into their own gameplay.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that energy are having trouble adapting to the Sunder. Look, I mean, they're being very loud about it. And so the response from Team Rival is to buy 3 Sunders. Why not?
But I mean, those Sunders aren't doing anything for him this game. This is the funny thing is, I believe last game, Energy had more Sunders and lost. And Rival had more Sunders this game and are losing. So I know Sunder might be good, but maybe you're a little bit too excited about it. That's just my personal opinion right now. I think it's very solid. That's for sure. But 3, don't know if you need 3.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out in the end.
It's not great on defense. That's what we're learning so far, right?
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, really, you want to find the tanky target and blow him up, but it's just not what Team Rival has been able to do. Energy, no fire giant, keep in mind. Able to go ahead and just take down the left side tier 2 tower.
It felt very composition focused, these two games for me though. How these two games have really been played out. I felt NRG drafted a little bit too early mid-game for me in game one.
Same.
That came back to haunt. Great initiation from Deathwalker there.
Jumping right on into the middle of everything. Down come the Suns, but it's trouble for Collis and Deathwalker. DW going to be forced out to the fountain, and Dimi's going to do the same to Collis. Now it's a 5-on-3. Dimi gets Collis.
Oh, they don't call it Vote die. If Vote dies, that's game for sure. Vote was probably the last man standing that could have stopped this push in from NRG. NRG are gonna find the split here, Thoth, if they can just bring it down the Titan instead of go for kills.
Yeah, it's about 2,000 HP, and that be that. 27-6, just shy of a half hour, and Team Rival fall to NRG. Nice clean split for the defending world champs.
Well, would you really want to call it that?
Nice
a nice
split.
Clean split.
Let's leave the clean out of it.
I'd say it's a nice clean split for Rival. If I was Rival in that spot, it's a much better situation for them to take points off the world champs again. Early on, 5 weeks of play, 1 point under your belt, and the world champs already off the list.
Yeah, really exciting to see how Rival was doing that, because like I said, everybody was just sitting here going, are they going to be the same team online? Same team?
I didn't think they would.
Same team, maybe not, but very close to it. With some more time, I'm very eager to see how they work next week and the week after.
Definitely. Rival's going to still have a couple of things to improve on. They've got to look back at that game tape there, realize that composition-wise, they had to be very careful about how they played that, as well as their positioning really let them down in certain aspects of that fight. Yeah,
it was kind of rough for Wlfy specifically. His positioning on the Thoth wasn't my favorite, but I don't think it lost the game for them by any stretch of the imagination. Sure. I think NRG just really pulled it out and played very well. And like you said, the composition was key.
Camazotz, though, is another thing to talk about. Camazotz starting to rise back now. A couple of times we've seen it in just 2 days. Is it the new jungler of junglers?
I mean, yes.
Okay. I mean, Raven's on that list too. So Raven, Camazotz, is that going to be the matchup we see going forward? We've seen Osiris versus Bologna in the solo lane every day. And now we're going to be seeing Raven versus Camazotz in the jungle. Then it's Sol versus Thoth in the mid lane, or Sol versus... Who else have we seen in the mid lane today?
We've seen a couple of different options there. A lot of... Maybe Poseidon is gone?
Maybe, but why?
Cross your fingers.
Why do you want to cross your fingers on Poseidon?
Because he's just Kraken, man. That's all he does.
What's Kraken? That's what it sounded like.
Can we throw yet? I'm done. Yeah, okay. We'll be back in just a little bit. Stay tuned for some more SPL.
Thanks so much, Tom. And what's cracking aggro, as you're going to be the one joining me on the desk now?
I don't know. How can anyone not like Poseidon, man? He's so fun. What do you mean? Kraken, like, nothing brings me more joy than actually landing a Kraken whenever it finally happens.
Yeah, but nothing makes me more depressed than seeing somebody miss a Kraken under CC control. But more importantly is the control aspect between that final set with NRG and Rival. That was a very back and forth gameplay between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, both games. Game 2, NRG was in control from the beginning, basically. emilitoo started it off with a beautiful first blood, and it really came in NRG's favor from there. But, I mean, Rival wasn't out of it. They stole away that Fire Giant, almost came back. Game 1, it was NRG again from the beginning having that control, but Rival did a great job of coming back. As they mentioned, you know, on the caster desk there, it's very much how much can Rival look like they did on LAN, because on LAN and online are two completely different things. They're a team that feeds off of energy very, very well, and so you don't get that same amount whenever you're online, when you're not next to your teammates. Very excited to see what Rival can do. I mean, definitely proving to me today that they have potential to still be one of the top teams in Europe.
And I think that's a really important aspect, especially when you're considering that Rival showed just how dominant they're able to perform once they snag a lead, and they held on to it initially, because that first game against NRG was looking pretty iffy, but then the moment that they had their opportunity, they seized it, they completely punished NRG. And how much of that would you attribute to the drafting stage? Do you think that drafting had any impact on this?
I mean, of course, the draft is always one of the most important phases of the game, but really for me it was more Rival continuing to work well as a team. They always seem to be ready to make that big comeback that they need to make. They never seem to get too discouraged whenever they fall very, very far behind. And they just did a really good job of staying cohesive as a unit and not letting that early deficit really get to them.
And it was really important for NRG to find the comeback potential, and they bounced back in set number 2. I'd say that performance was a little bit more clean by NRG than game number 1 was for them, considering that they lost the lead initially. But I know that NRG, being the team that they are, probably aren't too satisfied with splitting, but certainly happy that they managed to do so, considering that this was their first set. And we actually have NRG's coach, Gorgonzola, who's the newest addition to the team, here on the line with us right now. Gorgon, how you feeling, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm feeling great. It could have been better, but I still feel like we played pretty well.
Gorgon, I mean, what's it been like for you moving from the Challenger Cup to now coaching the two-time defending world champs?
Well, coaching is on another, like, it's on another level. It's not easier, it's not harder, it's just different. It's another level of things.
And as a jungler formerly yourself, how much do you feel like you're helping attribute to adapting's level of gameplay?
Well, of course, I feel like adapting is better than me anyways, so usually he knows what he doesn't do good, but we try to work as a team, so everybody helps each other.
What does NRG ask of you whenever you come in to, you know, help them with scrims, or is it picks and bans? Is it trying to just kind of delineate the arguments? What do you really do most?
It's picks and bans, but also learning from our mistakes, figuring out what our mistakes are, and working hard on fixing them. That's the main things.
Well, I mean, they have the stinky cheese backing them up, and I'm sure that NRG are going to be very excited to continue out this split, and maybe even the rest of the year with you. So how are you feeling overall, just being on the SPL level team now?
To be honest, I'm feeling confident. I think we got some really good chance, and I'm proud to be member of the World Champions family, you know? I'm proud.
I mean, you have all the reason to be that proud. You've been a strong player yourself all throughout the Challenger and even in relegations, and when you performed here at the LAN on Optimus Game, not known as Burrito, but I'd say you've done a pretty excellent job for yourself so far. Are there any particular shout-outs you want to give, by the way?
Sure. I want to shout out, of course, like I shout out at LAN, my mom, my dad, and all my Italian fans, and of course to NRG Gaming.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, man, congratulations to you guys for achieving that comeback victory for the second game, maintaining a split with your team. And like we mentioned already, that is going to be a very interesting split, considering that a lot of people were looking forward to this matchup to see just how well Rival would perform, and they came out swinging.
They certainly did. I mean, this is definitely this was an opportunity for NRG to show that they've made some adjustments from the Masters LAN. And not only the Masters LAN, but the Gauntlet LAN as well. That's where Rival was the one to take them down there. This, I do think that NRG's probably disappointed with themselves to not close out game one where they throw that lead. It wasn't, you know, some egregious throw. A lot of it was Rival making good plays to come back into it. But anytime you're a pro player and you have a substantial lead and then you end up losing that game, you always feel like it was your fault more than anything else. And so you know NRG is going to come back even hungrier the rest of the split to prove that they belong near the top of Europe.
Well, we'll have an excellent chance to see that as the rest of the split unfolds. But for those of you who are just now tuning in with us here today, we do have a couple of sets that have already been played out. Dignitas managed to find a clean 2-0 victory earlier in the day. And so because of that, they boosted themselves with their lead from 3 points to a solid 6 now. So they're more than happy to have taken that clean win off of Burrito Esports. And following that, as we just had the second set of the day, NRG versus Team Rival picking up their split like we've talked about. And already, Dignitas are definitely feeling themselves. They've got to be feeling really good now, having established such a pretty predominant lead.
Oh, how could you not? I mean, they've done it consistently now throughout the first 2 sets that they've played so far this split. And they've done it with some different strategies, too. Up again on Thursday, that was more, you know, the Zeros playing the Soul. We're going to siege you down. We're going to be playing the same compositions that we played during the spring. And now today, up against Burrito, it was a little bit of a different sort of look for them. It was Zeros on the Morrigan. It was Variety playing the Osiris and just looking like the Variety of old. That was the best Variety has played for me so far this split. And basically since the spring in my mind, this is definitely looking like a very, very scary Dignitas roster.
We've had a ton of excellent plays all throughout the day already from this EU team in particular, and a lot of solo lane action has been the course for both of the sets that we saw earlier today, because it wasn't just Variety representing on that Osiris. We also saw Deathwalker playing his brains out on the Nike, and I think that that was just absolutely phenomenal team gameplay.
Yeah, he played very, very well, especially in this game one was a big part of Rival's comeback, just being that frontline presence that's so difficult to handle.
And it's always a matter of concern because I believe the casters even brought it up earlier where Nike does have the cleave auto attacks. Yep. However, in-hands are a little bit slower than what you'd probably want for the ideal Death's Toll cleave scenario, but he still managed to make it work when it came to the team fighting positioning, and I think that's a really important aspect to consider. Absolutely. I mean, but on the other side, Dimi was lights out for NRG, especially in Game 2. On that Wukong, but even in Game 1, looked really, really solid all throughout. And Dimi's one of those guys that, you know, sometimes can kind of fly under the radar a little bit, doesn't make the highlight reel plays all the time, but will also be on every single NRG highlight reel because he'll have a couple games a split where he just absolutely goes nuts. This was one of them. Big plays out of Dimi in Game 2. The devastating part for Rival was that Dimi on a god that isn't typically one to get ahead early was successfully able to do so, and because of that, you give an experienced player like Dimi a lead, and he's going to take it and run the entire game with it. Absolutely. He went Shifter Shield right after the Breastplate of Valor, just going for that hybrid. You know, I'm ahead. I have like 5 kills. Why not just get a ton of power from the Shifter Shield? But it also gives him that survivability that he needs once he falls low. Loved the itemization choices out of Dimi. He looked great today. And like we've already mentioned, both of these teams, just excellent performances all around. Had a really fun set between everybody involved, really. I mean, Dignitas versus Burrito, you could tell that there's some sparks of life for Burrito. Hopefully see some splits from them later on down the line. And then NRG and Rival, I mean, you can never really go wrong with that. But now we're